Right, today my lockdown beard is going to have a chat with Toby Rouse, BA.
Not quite yet.
Well, you've done the
Toby
work.
Rouse thing exists.
You've done Toby. You are Toby Rouse, you know, and you've done your BA. You just haven't officially
provisional BA.
Provisional BA. So it might need to be checked, but let's face it, you've done it now, haven't you? Toby Theologian Rouse.
It's got a nice ring to it, hasn't it?
It has, hasn't it? So me and Toby have been studying theology, not together because he's 3 years ahead of me, but and only in theology is he 3 years ahead of me as well. I'll make that point now.
And everything else
in life, he's lagging behind. Bless him. That sounds really harsh. But how does it feel to have finished 6 years? Well, did you do 6 or did you do 5?
Well, yeah, 5.
5 years worth of study.
It feels like a massive relief, but the time, with everything that's going on, it does feel very, very surreal. It's not how I envisioned it to be. Like, I was expecting some nice celebrations and stuff.
Yeah, you can't go out for a cheeky Nando's to celebrate.
No. So
No.
we did get, we did celebrate a little bit, but.
Carry on. Right, I've got 5 questions to ask you, and these are the real important ones. These are the ones in which my young people will judge you on. I'm not going to lie; they're going to judge you on these.
I'm ready.
You're the 3rd person to have faced this list of questions, and so far, the 2 other people were complete opposites. They were total opposites. So let's see how you do on these.
I could be somewhere in the middle, but I think they're multiple choice, so I don't think I will be.
Multiple choice with 2 options.
So I'll be somewhere in the middle. Yeah.
Coke or Pepsi? Fanta. That's what it'll be. Coke or Pepsi? That's the first one.
I'd say Pepsi. Pepsi, definitely.
Okay.
But either one, if it's cold, it beats the others. So if it's cold Coke, it beats.
And this is a rhetorical question. How would you feel about throwing the option of a pint of milk in there? Don't answer it. Where's my shower cap? No one will get that. Private joke. Number 2. KFC or McDonald's?
Okay, I think it depends. If you're with a group of people, KFC. If you're on your own and sad, McDonald's.
If you're with a group of theologians at a service station on the way to Telford?
These in-jokes have got
because that's a really specific situation.
Yeah, that's really specific.
We've had a number of good KFCs together, haven't we?
We certainly have.
Have we ever broken McDonald's together? I can't think of a time we have.
Possibly the most stressed I've ever been is trying to work out how much chicken we could possibly get for the cheapest amount.
What's the most efficient way to buy chicken?
While we're queuing up.
So did you say KFC or McDonald's? You've just got to choose one.
KFC. Okay.
There we go.
KFC.
Actually, I don't think you're a massive football fan, but if I were to say Man City or Man United, what's your gut say?
My gut says, why does there have to be 2? Like,
what, 2 Manchester
they're both
clubs?
Manchester, right?
Yeah.
So why do they have to both exist? That's what my gut says. Why is there a United and a City?
And ironically, one of them's called United, and they're not.
Yeah, and they're not United. So my gut says
Liverpool.
I disagree with both.
Well, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that as a failed to answer.
I'll take that.
I'll have a 2,000-word essay from you on that one, though.
That's fine. I'll get 80% because I get the other 4 as well.
This is more the sort of debate we might have in a car. Hillsong or Bethel?
I think Hillsong. Are you a Bethel? Are you a Betheler?
No, I'm Hillsong.
Good. There we go then. But we won't have that debate on a 3-hour car.
No, we're not.
That was over very quickly.
I'm not sure when the next time we're going to have a 3-hour drive together is. That's a sad moment. Masters. Are you going to
I'll wait 3 years for you.
Wait for me and we'll do it together.
All right.
And the last one.
Yeah.
Tea or coffee?
Hands down coffee.
Absolutely.
Coffee's good. It's also when it gets cold, coffee's better than
Cold tea.
Cold tea. Cold tea's horrible.
Well, I know a lot of people. Some of my youth group like iced tea. I've had to buy iced tea for the tuck shop. It's really weird.
Okay. I mean, I don't have anything to say about that.
I have no opinion, and you don't have to.
No
After having 5 years of having to find an opinion, you don't have to have an opinion anymore.
Yep.
Good. Okie dokie. Right. Well, I'll give you maybe a minute to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do with your time, whether it's paid, voluntary, all that sort of jazz. You got a minute. Go for it, Toby.
Yeah, so I work for my church here in Wellspring, Dereham, the centre of Norfolk. And when you work for the church, kind of your free time and your work time gets very much blended. I think Pete might experience that. So my technical title is the operations team manager or team leader. And so I get involved in basically everything that happens in the church. We've got the church and we've got the centre, which is the social action side of what we do. We have things like mental health support groups, ME support groups, kids groups, youth groups, things like that. So basically anything to do with the centre, I basically spend a lot of my time doing. Anything to do with finance or staff or trustee stuff, that's all me as well. And then I'm also co-youth leader with Hazel, and I do a lot of worship and health and safety stuff, things like that. So that's what I.
So what you're saying is the church would be stuffed without you. You're the backbone of the church.
I think it would look very different without me. Let's say that.
Oh, such a polite response. You do
an
awful lot.
Yeah.
And you're in the office at the moment?
I am in the office on my special swivelly chair. So.
But that is not a youth work office. That's got boring things in it.
It is, yeah. It's
Nerf guns.
It's quite difficult being a youth leader and finance person and help. Like it's like they're two.
Those offices are very different.
Yeah. So I just have to wear a different hat each time. So
have you got enough hats? I've got loads of hats.
Have you?
Yeah.
No, I haven't got enough.
What does a finance person's hat look like?
Probably as dull as you can get, I think.
And a youth worker's hat?
Complete opposite.
It's pretty sparkly, really, isn't it?
Yeah, really sparkly. Your ones probably have fairy lights on it, I guess, looking at your office.
I've not got any fairy lights in my office. This is just my spare room. It's become my interview room because it's the only one.
You've got a room specifically for interviews, so that's that's a big budget there.
Yeah,
that's good.
And then the music room.
Oh, I love that music room.
Yeah, music room. Yeah, that's my wife's office currently. Nicola's hunkered up in there.
Pre-lockdown, we had some fun there.
Yeah, some good times. Good times.
Yeah.
Right. Well, tell us a little bit about where you live then, because so with for you wouldn't know, but we've had a chat with Sky, who was from Nottingham, in Zimbabwe, moved to Hull, London, Nottingham. We've had a chat with Bex. Bex is sort of, she lived in Birmingham. She did a year out with Youth for Christ all over the country. Then she did another year out in London, and now under lockdown, she's had to move back in with her parents in Birmingham. You are not in London or Birmingham or Nottingham, but you're not in Norwich either. Tell us a little bit about where you're based. Or you could freeze. Have you frozen, Toby?
Yes, I'm based in Dereham. Dereham is apparently the middle of somewhere in Tesco's car park in Dereham is the middle of Norfolk, so it's very centre of attention. It's quite a quiet place. What I really love about Dereham is it's got the perfect combination of it's got like loads of amenities, but it's spacious as well. So that's what I really love about Dereham.
It's quite a way out from anywhere larger, isn't it? I mean, you're a bit of a distance to Norwich, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm used to, so I used to live in Fakenham. Well, actually, I used to live, as Pete knows, in Northwold, which is seriously the middle of nowhere. It's the thing with Northwold is you have to drive about 20 minutes if you want some milk. And what I love about Durham is you can just walk probably about 5 minutes and you'll get to. So
you feel like you're in a metropolis because you can walk for milk.
Yeah, I feel it's great, and yeah, it's I'm loving Durham, definitely.
Have you always been a Norfolk boy though?
Always been a Norfolk boy, yeah.
Always.
Always.
Fakenham was once voted the most boring town in England, wasn't it?
I think I see where they're coming from. It was very, yeah. Fakenham was it's crazy when you go back there because and you just see all the people who you grew up with, and you're like, oh, okay,
still there.
Yeah, there's not much happening here. So, yeah.
But you're quite close to Wells, and I love Wells.
Wells is nice.
Wells is nice. I like Wells. Yeah, go crabbing in Wells. It's always good.
Yeah.
You must have been crabbing in Wells.
I have been crabbing in Wells. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
good stuff. So Norfolk born and bred, and you're working in Norfolk, and you're doing sort of anything the church needs done, really. But you did have some plans for this summer. What were your plans?
Well, so this year, I think it's safe to say, was probably going to be the biggest year of my life. So obviously finishing the degree after 5 years is that did go ahead, which is nice. But also I was due to get married in a couple of months' time, and due to buy a house as well. So some like 3 massive things, and of course honeymoon and everything. So 3 or 4 massive things.
Some proper adulting there. That's proper adulting.
Proper adulting, yeah. And it's some like really big steps and some things that I was really excited about. I still am actually. So, but yeah, so things have changed.
What's the plans? So the degree is done. I know you.
Done, yeah.
Yeah, I know you wanted to go and pick up your certificate and wear a
funny hat.
Is that still going on? Is the funny hat still?
I have no idea. I'll be honest. If it does take place, it will be in November. So maybe socially, I don't know. It might happen socially distant. Well, I don't know how they're going to hand it to me. They might just throw it.
Yeah, like a frisbee.
Yeah.
So, what's more important, the study and the learning, or throwing a hat in the air?
Throwing a hat in the air. No, the study and the learning. Like, I'm really thankful for being able to do it and be able to really think about why I believe what I believe, and challenge those things and having conversations with you. And yeah, it was a really good experience. So definitely the learning. Yeah.
Cool. So what we shared 5 residential trips together, didn't we?
We did. That's very quick.
Because you weren't there for the last one. You weren't there for January.
Wasn't there for the last one? Was it 5?
Well, I've only had 6. So, and because you
weren't there
for that one, it must be 5. And I was working that out in my head. As a genius.
Very quick. Yeah.
I'm doing theology rather than maths because that's quite rudimentary maths.
Although we do spend a lot of time talking about maths.
We do. Yeah. No. Well, yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Because we've talked about finance
banking
as well.
Yeah.
So, what about the other parts of your big plans? How are they? Are they on pause, or are you just trying to rearrange how they're done?
So with the wedding side of things, I mean, fortunately, I have a really understanding fiance, and she, we've discussed it a few times and discussed it with our pastor and everything, and I think we'd be looking just to have a small wedding, have something, however that will look. I mean, our problem right now is we can't give notice, so we can't legally get married at all until the government lets us.
So reading of the banns is a very legal
reading
thing,
of the banns. Yeah. So that side of things, we're really just, as soon as we can, we'll get in there, and then probably next year we're looking to have a big celebration or something like that. So we knew we weren't going to have a typical wedding, so a Zoom wedding may fit that bill. So
Zoom wedding.
But Kaylee's very very understanding of the whole thing, which is really, really nice. So
cool.
Yeah. And then in terms of the house,
did you think about delaying that? Did you think about, well, should we just wait till next year and do the big thing?
Yeah, we had many conversations. Our situation's a bit more complicated because there are children involved. So we have to consider that as well in everything. But we both have been thinking and praying and arguing about it, and we do feel that we've reached a place of peace. I think, like, for me personally, I'm fine with anything. Like, my main, I just want to make sure she's happy, really. So, and she seems to be happy with that idea. So.
Okay. So
yeah,
you've come to a point. I mean, well, it's sort of compromise, but it's also, you both feel comfortable there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, it is compromise. But we've changed quite a bit through lockdown. We've changed how we view things. I guess we've understood what we think is important, and reached that sense of peace. So yeah, it is compromise. I mean, nobody we wouldn't choose it to be this way, but God's been really good to us, and yeah, we do feel that sense of peace. So,
how's the house going?
So the house has been very stressful and very very complicated. So we had an offer accepted on a house in March, and then we were like, yay, everything's going to go great, we're going to move in and stuff, and then a pandemic hit, and so that's meant that, so for the past 2.5 months, I think 2 months, the whole housing market froze. But there we go. So but God's been really good to us, and we've had quite a bit of breakthrough recently, which has been really, really nice. So we're progressing on that really well. So
are you thinking that still might happen this year? Is that still?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking next month.
Oh wow! We should so that's moved on quite. I know last time we spoke, that was much more in the air.
Yeah, it was. I think things have happened in about last week, so it's been really good.
Well, that's moved on. That's good. So it's been a tough lockdown.
It has been tough.
Yeah, because you've also been, the church has been keeping you very busy as well.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying that you've been doing a lot of community work during lockdown as well. I love how sort of churches have been really sort of throwing themselves into some of the community stuff and helping out, but you've been really at the heart of that, while those 3 other things have also been playing around as well.
Yeah, it's been really good. With something like this, I think you see the best in people and the worst in people. Like, I think that you see this kind of like people, with the toilet roll saga and everything. You see this, but then you also see that there are people, that there are opportunities to be able to help people. And so what we've been doing as a church is supporting, so getting shopping for vulnerable people, and getting prescriptions, and like offering a friendly phone call service and things like that, which has been really, really busy in the early days. It's kind of got a little less busy recently, but there's still quite a bit of a need out there. And it's been really good. Like, it's been really good to, where there's a clear need and a clear solution. It's been really good to be part of the church in that sense.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah.
Is there anything, now that you've obviously studied the entire Bible in full detail and know all of it
in Greek,
off the top of your head, in Greek, Hebrew, and the Aramaic sections as well? Is there anything that you found really useful sort of during this time of upheaval and uncertainty and anything like that?
Yeah, there's been a few pieces of scripture that have really, really helped me. I think number one, in terms of all the plans that we have, when it comes to, in my situation, when it comes to the wedding and the house and everything, is to just trust God. And there is humanly, you learn how weak you are humanly, right? Because You can't solve the problem. You need God to solve it for you. You need to trust in what God has promised. And Psalm 40 has been really helpful to me. When you look at it, it's David's going through like a really tough time, but what he does is he reminds himself of God's faithfulness in the past, and that's been really helpful. That's been a really helpful thing to focus on, and also to know what waiting means. Like, I think probably 99% of people are in this season of waiting at the moment, and what does it mean to wait in the Lord, and how is that helpful? How do you grow through that season? So yeah, that's been really good. Yeah, so that, I mean, another thing is, for me personally, fasting has been really helpful. I feel that when I fast, like, God uses it to bring a lot of breakthrough. So that's been really helpful as well. And just that I have a really supportive fiance who's very positive, and we pray a lot together and talk things through a lot together. And like, one day I can be really stressed, another day she can be really stressed, and yeah, just that communication, even miles
How much have you actually sort of seen of her? Because I mean, there's a bit of a distance.
There is, and obviously that distance is at least 2 meters from now
at least
on.
2 meters at all times. But because she's been living the other side of Norfolk. Yeah.
So the first, I think, 10 weeks or something, we didn't see each other. Like, we've talked every night on sort of video calls and stuff, and yeah, just talk about the day and stuff together, and that's been really good. So I'm really thankful for technology. And then we've had a couple of socially distant dates, which are interesting. I find walks are the best thing to do. Yeah, so it's kind of like a combination of those things. But yeah, we're able to talk to each other every day, which is brilliant. So.
Yeah, but that, relationship, talking is massively important. You've massively relied on that over the last 11 weeks. But there must be some frustration in that as well. That there is this distance. But the one thing it always makes, a lot of people have been likening lockdown with sort of like the Second World War and stuff like that. But as you say, sort of take away the technology side of things, and if you're relying on post, as it would do there, by the time you'd posted a concern or an issue, by the time it would have got there, it may well have been resolved.
Yeah.
And by the time they reply back, it could be a problem again, or something else, or 3 other problems have turned up. It's crazy to think how this would have had to be dealt with before some of the technology we've got.
Yeah, and it's a funny thing. I think you really grow a lot in it. Like, our relationship's grown a lot through this, because when, like, in the early days, it was really difficult because we're like, no, we're used to this, we're used to being able to see each other and stuff. And but as the days go on, like, God has been doing a lot of work in us, and yeah, we have got to this better place. So
do you think has it built your patience?
Definitely, and I think also it's helped me to be thankful for what we do have. So to focus on the positives. That's been really, really helpful in that respect. So,
and obviously you've been, much like myself, trying to keep in contact with young people and trying to keep them positive and provide entertainment and teaching and all sorts of things going on. What would be, or what has been, sort of some of the advice you've given to your young people who are struggling in lockdown?
It's been so firstly, I think so. Me and Hazel do the youth group together, and firstly, I've been really encouraged with the turnout of youth. So they do come along to Zoom every week, and we do have really good chats. And it is really nice to be able to to see them, etc. The advice I would give is keep working at those relationships. So even if it means you have to be disciplined, so it's like if you, I think now is a really good time to look for a mentor or someone in that capacity, because what people do have a lot more now is time. So look for someone who you can offload to and gain wisdom from. I think a second thing is to just practice thankfulness. Like if you're stressed, or if you're in that place of in that low place, it's just think of things to be thankful for. And for me, like it's very quick to be able to end up with a massive list of things I'm thankful for. So I think those two things I would recommend.
Cool. Have you sort of had the situation where many of your young people have just gone, oh, this is just dragging on, or this is, because at the beginning of lockdown, I don't know whether anyone thought it would be 11 weeks. I don't know about you guys. I think I was thinking, 4, 5, 6. It felt like it might just be like a nice little extra summer holiday. But it has it got easier as it's gone on, or has it got harder?
For the youth, or for me?
Both.
Okay. For me, I think it's got slightly easier because I think I've grown through it. For the youth, I think that in some ways it's got easier, some ways it's got more difficult. I mean, what we do have to take into account is, as time progresses, there is sort of more freedoms that come. So a lot of them are meeting up for bike rides from a social distance, and there are other freedoms, like being able to go for barbecues and things like that. So I would say in that respect it's easier. But in terms of like trying to keep the routine together, I think that gets more difficult as time goes on. So I think
it's also probably getting quite difficult now that it is starting to ease. So as we're easing lockdown, the temptation is to drop lockdown and to just go back to how it was. But sort of these little steps that we're making sort of in the country, I think is proving to be quite hard as a balance. I don't know about what you've experienced.
I think so, and I think it's also, I think that, as you say, it's a temptation thing, because I think that when you see like groups of people obviously not obeying social distancing, I think that frustrates quite a few people, because you have to, like, I think it's our duty as Christians to submit to what the government says, and I think that's very hard. Like, it's difficult when you see other people not doing that. So like you really have to stick to what you believe, really, don't you? So.
But not be too judgmental.
But not being too judgmental.
I found it really hard, because I don't know if you're aware, I've been doing an awful lot of jogging to the point of killing my poor legs. And last night I jogged past a group, what must have been about 30 people, and I just sat there and thought, but at the same time I was like, I've got no idea what that's about. The one thing I think lockdown hopefully is teaching me is to think the best of everyone. And because I could just presume they're all, having a jolly and all sorts, but maybe there was a reason for it. I have no idea. So I'm going to presume the best of everyone. There's nothing I'm going to do about it. There's nothing I'm going to say to them, because they're a scary bunch of people. So presume the best, move on. Because if that's what fills my headspace, sort of if the negativity of what potentially that could be, or I could sit there and get het up about that for ages. I don't want the negativity to be filling my headspace. I want to be keeping that.
And then this kind of links back to what I was talking about thankfulness, and about choosing to be thankful rather than angry, or rather than negative, right? Because because you can choose what you think about. And yeah, that same thing. Like, I think also recognize that nobody's perfect. Well, one person's perfect, but like nobody's, like, you know, we all mess up in different ways. It's just they're messing up in their social distancing stuff. But like we all do things we regret, and which upset other people. And you know, we do work towards not doing that. But yeah, to be gracious to them, I think would be good.
Okay, so we're going to come into land, but just before we come into land, we're going to have a couple of slightly lighter moments, maybe. Have you had anything in lockdown that has just been hilarious? That's just something that's just made you giggle that you can share with us?
That's tough.
Or
yeah, go on. I've had one thing. So haircuts
right.
in lockdown is really good. So I've got a very nice landlady, I guess she is. I'm staying with some friends at the moment because it's in Deal. I've spent the whole time in lockdown with them, and yeah, so she's a friend of mine's been cutting my hair, and it's just really interesting some of the comments she makes. So she made something like, "Oh, I've never seen so much scalp," or "Is it supposed to look like?" or "Is it supposed to look checkered?" And so yeah, I made the comment, just think about how I interpret things before you say them.
I've never seen so much scalp.
I've never seen so much scalp. And what was it? And I think she slipped at one point and cut off a bit too much. So yeah, that's really fun.
It's looking pretty tidy, though. I mean,
this is the second cut as well.
We're maybe not in 4K resolution on your webcam.
Yeah, that helps, doesn't it?
But it doesn't look too bad. You've got quite a good thick head of hair as well.
Yeah.
There's a couple of white ones have slipped in there, but it's a good thick head of hair. So yeah. How nervous were you letting someone cut your hair who's maybe not?
The first time, very nervous. But I know it grows really quickly, so it's not the end of the world.
Have you asked Ryan Trevor about his fringe? Have you seen the incident with the fringe?
No. Go on.
Oh well, Tina, the people who he's lodging with, cut his hair, and it didn't go well. Oh. And I happen to know that Tina might watch this, so Tina, leave Ryan's hair alone. It's I can't quite explain it. So there we go. That was the funniest moment you've had is trusting someone else to cut your hair. You're a stylish man, you know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you've gone for a little bit. You've not got.
This is just because I've forgotten.
But it looks like you may have shaved that bit there.
Well, I feel I don't really see a lot of people now with lockdown, so
no one cares, do they?
No one cares.
What do you think of my effort? It's
I think it's looking good.
I
really, musketeer look going.
I really don't like it. See, now I was thinking this is probably Baptist minister. It's not full Anglican yet.
The problem I find is just it gets so itchy. Oh, are you past the itchy stage?
It's way past the itchy. I don't know if you can see quite how long it really is. The moustache is long enough that I keep on getting it in my mouth. But because of this, I'm not allowed to sort of chop my hair. I don't know if I'm going full Samson or full Forrest Gump. I can't decide.
Is the reason? So are you going to shave once lockdown ends?
Yeah, I'm going to make a silly video out of it. Not even lockdown, just June, because it really. I think I'm looking a bit beegee. I'm not a ZZ Top, but it's definitely beegee. But I also think it makes me look horrendously old.
No, you always look old.
Oh, you're going to say something really nice then. Okay, right. This is the surprise silly question. Right.
I thought the last one was. I wasn't.
No. This is the surprise. That was my working mark, because you can't go from serious conversation about lockdown and how it's affected you and all that sort of thing, and then jump into fish or wig. You've got to go via the other thing. This is fish or wig. Now, you know how I do youth work.
Very seriously, yeah.
Very seriously. And majority of my youth work revolves around silly hats and silly wigs. So my question to you would be, if you had the promise, right? we would find the cure for COVID-19, and all you have to do is either wear fish or wig for a year, and that can be made available for the entire world can have that. You can go forward facing fish, you can go sideways facing fish, or you can go political leader wig, because I'm not going to lie, there's something,
oh yeah, that's very political leader.
there's something very political leader, and there's at least 2 political leaders I could think that could probably, you know, be accused of having hair like this. What would it be? Would you go fish or wig for a year? 2,000 words.
I feel fish.
You feel
I
fish?
feel fish. Yeah, just because
Okay.
I haven't. I think. What? So everybody has to wear it?
Just you?
Oh, just yeah. No, definitely fish then, because I think with the wig, there'll be less questions. With the fish, it'll be more obvious. Oh, obviously he's got a wig, so it's just less awkward. So, yeah.
Wearing a fish on your head for the year is less awkward than a wig.
In the long run, yeah, I think so.
In the long run. Have you? You've been to New Day. You must have seen the fish hat before.
I certainly have. Yeah, I can always tell where you are.
yeah. It often goes with some interesting clothing as well. But there's fish. My personal favourite. I don't know if you can see the true glory of this. Is when
oh, that was an option. Oh, in which case,
if you could wear a wig on fish, would you?
Yeah.
Look at the glory of that.
That does look very cool.
That is beautiful. Boris Trumpfish says, Toby Rouse, thank you very much for your time. Really hope and pray that your all those bits and pieces that you'd planned for this year. A lot of people are saying, let's write off 2020. I get the feeling that you've not written it off yet.
No, we're still in it. Still in it
to win it. Let's hope.
Yeah.
So all of those 3 things that you planned for 2020, let's hope that they all still go ahead and go smoothly and go as well as they can.
Yeah, definitely. Brilliant. Cool. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you very much,
Cool.
Toby.